Hello, and welcome back to some more fun and adventure. Let's see. Of Rune Factory 5. Once again, we've finally finished collecting all the Stardust, and I think I'd like to start by apologizing for the lack of proper videos on Sunday. Uh, yeah, the night before, I was going to have to get up early and leave. Like, that whole evening I'd spent with Gillian, and we were basically just there all day. By the time I got home, I really didn't want to record anything. So I just threw up some Backpack Hero episodes I had recorded instead. I know normally, blah blah blah, I don't upload 2 videos 2 days in a row. I have a whole thing about that, but this time I just did it anyway, so forgive me, thank you. Oh, right, I have literally no storage space left. Why is there not a tree growing there? Okay. Okay, so I want to plant some, like, level 10 stuff. You know what? Let's go to the... Didn't I also want some of this stuff? I wanted, like, a level 10 melee apple, but I didn't get one. Which sucked. Although even at level 1 or 2, that's still kind of enough to get what I want if I can do it right. And of course there's all these drinks that I don't necessarily need. A Prelude to Love that I can ship out, and then... Okay, I thought it was full, it wasn't going in. Max health minus 100%, but health goes up, so yeah, level 10 Prelude to Love. Love resist 200%. Element resists, like, cray-cray, but health, like, dies. And I remember using that in Water and Can Only Challenge, because it actually had a nice purpose to it.
Nice.
Okay, wait, hold on a second. My headphones are not connecting properly. I don't know what it is about any of this, if it's not just in right. Are my headphones already broken? Like, what's going on here? One quick second. Okay, my headphones are being weird and rather arbitrary, but whatever, I guess. Let's ship out a couple of seeds and start planting... Shoot, how many did I need? I needed one level 10... Like, I needed one crop to grow to ship, one crop to grow to make the food, one crop to grow for basic headdress to ship, one crop to go for the advanced headdress to ship, and then one crop to grow for the advanced headdress to have. So I need 5 crops. So I need 5 crops, but 3 of them can be low level. So I need 2 high level crops growing and like 3 low levels. So I need like 5 right now. Don't change clothes. I'm fine with these clothes. Are these like the default clothes? Like, probably. So yeah, I can do 3 low... Because... There. Whoops. Come on. No, wasn't it? No. Maybe. Yeah, no. There's 1 crop to ship, 1 crop to make into food to ship. And then headdress. So yeah. 2 high levels. Yeah, 2 high levels, 3 low levels. So I got exactly all the seeds that I need for all of this. Oh, right. I also wanted to ship off the Prelude. Because I figured might as well. Gotcha. Okay, okay, okay. Everything's fine. Got that all figured out now. Why is this tree dead? There's an orange tree, a grape tree, and a twinkle tree. Okay then.
All right.
Green crystal flower and fodder. And these are all just potatoes going. So it looks like... Oh, no, apple tree is still growing. Apple tree is still growing. How long does this take to grow? 16 days, so actually very fast. Level 4, that's level 10, so I can ship that out. But this is only level 4, so I can go with this.
There we go.
Pick that up. The event was okay. I, went there, picked up the cards. I decided to get the, pack. I decided to get, like, the bundle with, like, the entries and stuff because we never actually stopped at an ATM. So I never actually got cash to go. Because I could have, done all my game entries just by paying, like, with the card, whatever. But I would rather have one big purchase on than a bunch of little purchases. And the bag was really cool. I mean, it's just a basic drawstring bag. So what I get for the extra however much money that I spent, I got drawstring bag, a playmat I'll probably never use. 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces. Not the 5. I'll just plant them on the winter field. They'll be fine.
All right.
Everything's gonna be fine. I'll go up here and ship out some stuff again. Oh, I thought I had a harvest some grapes, ship a turnip heaven, harvest a giant golden crop. So that's still gonna take a little bit longer. And harvest a blue crystal flower. No, I got the green crystal flower. Giant golden crop and a few more grapes. Look at them watering. Yeah, sure, I guess. How much money do I have? It's an okay amount of money. And then farm dragons, ice dragons. So yeah, just plant the 5 here and now. Okay, so yeah, we get down on the Friday, check into Airbnb, whatever. It's the Saturday was the main event, and honestly, I'm not entirely sure if the whole event altogether was actually worth all that we had like paid for it.
There we go. There we go. There you go. There you go. There you go.
Oh, would you look at that? This is almost ready to harvest. These are still just sitting there waiting. Yeah, all these are Starfall pumpkins, right? Starfall pumpkin, King Pineapple, Starfall pumpkin, Starfall pumpkin, pumpkin. I'm sorry, did you eat something? Some golden pumpkins and some lamp grass that for some reason is... Oh yeah, it's going at 1 time speed. Farm Dragon, Wind Dragon, I guess? I don't know. So, yeah, regardless, whatever. I get into the event. I got all my cards for my Planeswalker deck. Commander game started. I sleeved up my deck. Got into a game. And, like, first game that I'm in, like, I was in, like, the Commander Pod number 2. By the time we finished the game, they were calling for a Commander Pod 24.
All right.
Yeah. There were a couple of long games there. Apparently the others had issues with people just coming in to pub stomp. And, like, there's a Commander Pod Plus for that, for people to, you know, play their nice and powerful decks. It really did seem, though, that, like, it wasn't, like, you know, casual tier / high tier. It was low, mid, casual, high tier. And then there was also CDH. Except, of course, it's like, even though sometimes high power decks in, like, a low level game suck to play against. Yeah, apparently somebody comboed off turn 5, blah blah blah, but then, like, it wasn't, like, a consistent deck, because I actually played against him and he didn't do that, and, like, my deck, like, can't even cast a spell until turn 3 at the earliest, because it's all Planeswalkers. Still fun, though. Turn 3, cast a Planeswalker, turn 4, cast another one. If I'm really lucky, by as early as turn 5, I can start casting 2 Planeswalkers in a turn. It also has a real issue, because I pretty much only played that for the whole day. I played, what, 4 games with that, and 1 CDH game with my Artifact deck, where things went actually kind of well. Not, like, amazingly well, but kind of well. Attack 4310. That's a lot of attack. So yeah. I managed to get out a quick and early game, oh, cute, faint attack. I managed to get a quick and early game coin to block off all of the other players from using their artifacts. One of them was playing an artifact-based deck, so that kind of stopped them from doing things for a good while there. So I was just like, okay, cool, I can be nice and protected now. I can be safe from all of that. And then the person playing the artifact deck was like, cool, fine, I'll play back to basics. So it's like, fine, my lands won't untap. Good thing I still have a mana crypt, because that will untap just fine. Oh gosh, oh that's right, I planted a ton of this right here. These fields are like, good. These are like half grown already? Wow. Maybe I should have planted those extra 5, but too late, I already did. I was just planting like as many as I could. Okay. Big Barth. Let's go to the Great Tree Plaza and find the people to go and socialize with, but also grab a whole bunch of mid-tier and high-tier plant potion. Yeah, I brought my Grimoire with like 6 commander decks. Like, that thing fully loaded is a good 10 or so pounds. I was carrying that around my backpack. Brought it all the way down, carried it around all day, brought it all the way back, didn't use any of those decks during the actual event. Like, not at all.
Say.
Alright, the place isn't open yet.
I'm so happy I get to see you today.
I wanna look at this thing. forgot, places open at 9. And, oh god, there was a huge commotion about stuff, and I was trying to put this off and, like, not go on about it, but there's a huge commotion going on about what's going to happen next weekend and about, it's like, oh, what do we do? And it's like, oh, well, it's like last weekend cost me overall somewhere like $400. Gas, according to Kirian, would be like $100 each. My Airbnb share was almost $100.
Oh my gosh! What's a girl to do? Say. Ooh la la! Thanks. Say.
Is it just not open on Mondays? What's going on? Oh, right, that's right. At exactly 9 a.m. it's not open. You have to wait till like 9:01. See, now she's standing up and she's all good.
Welcome, darling.
I am growing fire flowers, right? Oh, right. Yeah, let's just grab a whole bunch of this. I don't want to grab the tier 1s because those are a little bit not necessarily enough. But anyway, $100 for the gas funds to get down there. About $100 for my share of the Airbnb, and that was split between 6 people? 5 people? Yeah, I think, yeah, that was split between the 5 of us. And that was, you know, a lot right there. And then about $70 for the package, $70 because I bought a board game. Very fun board game, actually. I'm looking forward to getting to play it. I'll probably bring that out on the channel at some point.
Thanks for your purchase.
There, I'll do that.
Come see me again.
So I'll probably play that on the channel at some point soon or later.
Oh my gosh! What's a girl to do? Say. Thanks.
So yeah, I got whatever. So you know, 150 plus 200, $350 plus other expenditures while there. It was a good like $400 or so for that trip, which that's pretty pricey for a trip that we basically agreed to like a week in advance or something. It's like, oh hey, this is going on, let's go down for a weekend, no big deal. I'm not making like one of those trips a month like is a lot to me because yeah, Kirian is also constantly saying that she's broke. She's broke. She can't afford to do this. Oh no, I can't afford to, you know, get this $20 magic card. I'm broke. So anyway, next weekend, you know, this coming weekend for the Comic-Con trip that we had planned for a while now.
Thanks.
Karen is like, oh hey, let's get an Airbnb together for 4 nights because we would want to get there Thursday because the Comic-Con events really start on Friday. Like we could leave first thing in the morning on the Friday, basically get there and like just happen to like check in, then dart over to the place on Friday. We could do that, but it'd be more apt if we get there on like Thursday and then check it and whatever. So Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, and then Sunday night, because well again, while we could leave on Sunday, Kirian has an appointment in the town on the Monday. Fortunately just in the morning, so we're leaving Monday, so that's 4 nights. Airbnb for 2 nights, split between 5 people, was $100 each, so $500 for 2 nights. For 4 nights, it'd be like $1,000. I don't have I flat out don't have $500 just for the event, let alone another $100 for a share of gas. Like, I don't. And that's if I go there and literally buy nothing at the convention, I still can't afford that. So I'm like, oh, hey, we could stay with the Zura. And, like, I talked to Zura about it. And Kian's all, oh, but I have to bring my dog. I can't leave my dog at home. I can't leave the dog at a kennel for the weekend. That would be too much. I can't be separated from dog. Have to bring dog. Talk with Azura, and Azura talks with the roommate, and it's like, yep, can absolutely come down with the both of us and bring the dog and leave the dog at the house for the weekend. Because, like, at this rate, and then Kieran's like, oh, you don't understand. I have too much anxiety to leave my dog somewhere alone, like, all day long. You're not bringing your dog to the convention. Like, I feel like I have to sit her down and tell, because, like, you're not bringing your dog to the convention. Somewhere or other, your dog is going to be, like, alone all day long. Unless, of course, you want to, like, leave the convention to go back for the dog and then go back to the convention, or, you know, just spend, like, a few hours. Hi, Cinnamon. Yes, I'm talking about a dog, but I love you too. Like, unless you want to literally just spend a couple of hours at the convention, and that's going to be, like, your whole day. It's just going to be a couple of hours there, and that's it. Like, if that's what you're planning on doing. Twinkle Tree, level 9.
There we go.
Alright, Cinnamon. Hi, baby. I know you want snuggles right immediately now, but where you are, I can't see much of my screen. So, yeah, let me just grab you a little bit, hold you close, and there. Now I can at least see what I am doing. To some measure of a degree. Foam. Foam, foam. Foam, foam, foam. There. Okay, that was my weapon of choice, but now I have this for like 7,000, so. Still no magnifying glass on it. Upgrade a weapon. Upgrade this with a magnifying glass. I have not bought a magnifying glass, have I? I have not. So anyway, yeah. So it's like, oh, well, it's like, oh, well, and then she says, like, oh, well, if it's just the two of us, and, like, not the dog going down, that she'd have no problem. That she'd have no problem with, sorry, looking for a magnifying glass. That she'd have no problem with staying with the Zura for the weekend, and everything would be completely fine then. But because of the dog, she'd rather just, you know, book some stranger's house and leave the dog literally all alone in some random person's house all day long for the whole weekend. As opposed to bringing the dog to... As opposed to, you know, leaving the dog, you know, at a house where there might, you know, be people there. Like, is there an issue with, oh, the dog is fine being left on its own, I don't want strangers to be anywhere near the dog. Like, oh, well, the dog isn't fine being all alone, but somehow actually having the house to itself is good. Like, oh, having one room to itself is bad, but a whole house would be good. Like, I don't know what the issue is, and Kirian just keeps telling me, no, stop talking about it, because I'm goal-oriented. I want to find the solution to the problem. That's kind of been what people have been telling me to do literally my entire life. Hey, there's a problem. Go, Claire, find the solution to the problem. I can't find the solution to the problem if I don't even know what the actual problem is And Kieran's all like, well, I'm different from you. I have anxiety. Like, bloody, I have anxiety. I have terrible anxiety. You want to know what I do about it?
Go.
I understand that my anxiety is not an excuse to, like, not be part of the world. And I just ignore it. That's what I've been told to do my entire life.
Hope it comes out
I don't
okay.
care that you're shy. I don't care that you have anxiety. Do the stuff anyway. Go talk to new people anyway. Kieran is constantly trying to, not constantly, but basically constantly, introducing me to new people, like, out of the blue.
How are you growing?
Like, one of the people that we spent the weekend with was someone who had only met once before. And it's like, oh yeah, you're fine with this, right? And it's like oh yeah, because one of the people is coming really wanted to bring his friend, so we're gonna. It's like, you're not gonna be the one to say if the friend can't come, are you? It's like, wow, way to guilt trip me into accepting this. Like, gosh.
All right, all right.
It's like, yeah, you're just going to guilt trip me here, and yeah, no, everything's, it's like, and I was like, okay, well, fine, I'll do it, because, again, my anxiety doesn't matter. And then Kieran is constantly like, oh, I'm broke, I can't, oh no, I can't afford to spend $20 on, like, this thing, I'm broke, and then so I go, hey, instead of, because, like, Kieran looked at, like, Airbnb postings and found ones that would be, if we both stayed, it would only be $350 each for the weekend, which, again, I can't afford. Like, solid no to that. And she's all like, oh, I don't want to make you do anything that you don't want to do, but it's like, here, we could stay here, and I'd be fine splitting the bill with you, and we could stay here for the weekend instead. And it's like, one, I'm not. Two, you still haven't really explained what the exact issue is that you have with, you know, just coming and staying with Azura. Is it the fact that you don't know Azura that well? Because you're never going to get to know her well if you consistently refuse to spend any time with anybody you don't know. You're never going to get to know new people. And she's told me on more than one occasion that she wants to get to know new people. She wants to get to know people.
I hope it comes out okay. There we
Like, that's the thing that she actively wants. She wants to get
I hope it comes out
to, like, meet new people.
comes out okay.
Like, she thinks that she'll be single for the rest of her life because, you know, the perfect girlfriend for her won't literally fall into her lap.
Hope it comes out okay.
Because, again, she's too shy to actually meet anyone, but she wants to meet her a forever partner. It's like, oh yeah, she wants to have more friends, but only if she doesn't have to actually meet them first. Only if they can, like, start out and already be friends. Except for it's like, oh, she's too broke to, like, you know, afford X or afford Y. Oh, but she's willing to pay for an entire Airbnb for herself and her dog for the weekend instead of taking this free offer. And at this point, like, I told her flat out, like, I don't care if you're going to get an Airbnb for yourself, but do keep in mind that if you do that, one, you're paying for the Airbnb. You're not going to guilt trip me into paying for it at all. Two,
There we go.
you're going to have, each morning of the event, you're going to have to drive on over to Azura's to pick me up, and then after the event, you're going to have to drive back to Azura's to drop me back off. I'm not going to bug someone else for a ride. I'm not going to, like, call a taxi every day. I'm not going to be taking the bus every day. You're the one who wants to pay the extra money and spend the extra time so you can leave your dog alone in a house all day long for the weekend. And when I say all day long, it's not like the dog's gonna be alone like 48 hours. Like, the dog's gonna be alone for like 12 or so hours. But it's like, the dog's gonna be, like, relatively alone either way. So, dog is not actually an excuse. And, like, this is like a lack of communication error that I'm trying to ask her. It's like, what's the problem? And then she's all like, oh, I don't want to inconvenience people.
Nice.
You are doing me so much inconveniencing right now. And I told her, it's like, if this is how it's going to be, I'm thinking of just flat out canceling the trip. Maybe I should message her that. It's like, okay, I put in consideration about this, and because you're being downright unreasonable with
Nice.
all of your flimsy excuses about why you don't want to go for the free accommodation, I'm not going on this trip. You can pay me back for my car. Because I already paid for a ticket for it. And if I just flat out tell her, it's like, I decide I don't want to go, and you can pay me back for my ticket. She'll argue about that, blah, blah, blah. It's like, oh, well, you can still do that. Like, and it's like, oh, why do I want us to be in the same place so much? Because that's part of all of the fun of going to a convention is, yeah, spending, you know, most of the day with your friends that you're going with. And then afterwards,
So, I hope it comes out
it's like
okay.
showing off. It's like, oh, hey, I got all this sweet loot. And then it's like,
How are you growing?
you know, going back to the hotel room afterwards and being all, it's like, hey, I got this. I was like, hey, I got
Comes out okay.
that card game everyone's been playing there. Let's play some tonight. It's like, okay, let's do that.
I hope it comes out okay. 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 There we go. I hope it comes out okay. There we go. I hope it comes out okay.
And it's like, I'm trying to be accommodating towards her, but only after like hours and hours and hours of me trying to push her into, why do you not want to go with this idea? She's like, oh, I have anxiety. You don't understand. It's like, I have anxiety. I know it's easy for you to go and meet new people and immediately befriend them, but it's not that easy for me. It's like, yo, I have anxiety too.
Nice.
The only difference is that I was told that I'm not allowed to care about my anxiety.
All right.
I'm not allowed to be anxious when meeting new people. I just have to be open and friendly, and if I show any sort of hesitation, I'm the jerk.
All right. All right.
I'm not actually an open and friendly person. I'm just if I'm not playing the role of an open and friendly person, I'm the jerk and everybody hates me and I'll go die alone. Again. I say again like I've died before, but it's like, after suffering from depression for so many years, it almost feels like I have by this point. And so I'm trying to solve issues to make everyone happy, but it's like, this is just not working. So you know what? At this point, Kieran's going to just drive us down there, and I'm going to hold Kieran to do it. And of course, I'm sure she'll pull a thing like, oh, whoops, I've already driven to the event. Well, it would be a real shame to make me drive all the way back down to pick you up. You can just get someone else to drive you, right? I'm like, nope, Kieran, you're going to drive right here and pick me up and bring me back there. Like, you are going to do this. And it's like I flat out told her, I literally can't afford to pay to stay somewhere again. And like, and she, like, unknowingly did pressure me to join in with the trip last weekend. She was all like, oh, by the way, all of us have already agreed that we want to go on this trip on this weekend and go down to Edmonton, and we're going to like split an Airbnb and like go to this event. You should come with us. You're not going to be like the one to sit out of all this fun, are you? Like, she pressured me into going on there. There, and then she's all like, oh, well, if you couldn't afford it, you should have just said no. And it's like, I'm really considering just messaging her. It's like, actually, second thought, I'm not going. You can pay me back for the ticket. And like, oh gosh, splitting gas money is like the same price as if I just bought a bus ticket. It's slightly more convenient. Slightly. At least, oh god.
All right, all right.
It's just, I think after this, if things don't improve, I'm going to just stop contacting her, because the only times that she contacts me are like, oh hey, I already have people over and we're doing a thing.
Nice.
And some of the others thought that it would be nice if you were here as well. You want to come by? It's happening now and for the next 3 hours. So by the time you get here, you might get a chance to do one game, and then you'll have to go back home. And that's pretty much it. Like, all the times for us, like, meeting up and stuff, I've had to been the one to initiate, and it's like, no. I'm done trying to be the grown-up here. It's like, yeah, she's 40. She can be an adult. She can handle things and actually talk about things. We were having argument, debate, disagreement, whatever, about some, like, magic card, about, like, some magic-related stuff, 2 days ago? And every single time I tried to explain my point, she talked over me, and after doing that, like, 5 or 6 times in a row, she said, well, I'm not going to talk about this anymore, so let's just change the conversation. After interrupting me constantly, she said, this is my point, and I'm not going to let you talk. And so I tried to talk about it anyway, and she interrupted me again, saying, Claire, I thought I told you that I don't want to talk about this anymore. Like, she's not a good person. And the more that I think about this, the more I start to think, like, yeah, maybe it would be best if I just cut all communication with her, completely abandon everything that we had going, and just no more to any of that. Just a hard pass, nothing else going for any of it, and just say, good luck with the rest of your life, block her on Facebook, block her on Discord, just cease all communication with her, and just forget that I ever had her as a friend, because if, like, I think at this point, like, why? At this point, why should I bother, right? Why should I bother? Really? I have to put in all of the work to it. If we... Like, the Vegas trip was nice. But now, I don't know. I don't have any sort of, psychoanalysis. I can't, like, read people and, like, determine, like, their inner motivations for doing things. That's actually a major issue with my life, is that I can't just look at someone and know what they actually want, despite what they say, and just know, oh, well, you might say to take out the garbage, but you really mean is to go around the entire building, pick up all of the garbage, put that out, and then take out the bag. As opposed to just take out the bag. Like, so, like, can't... And then, of course, Kian mentioned her dog that passed away, I don't know, a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, like, a couple of years ago by now, and how things are still hard on her because of that. And it's like, and now how she insists that she can't just, like, leave the dog at home and, like, pay to have somebody come by, once or twice a day to take the dog out for a walk or something. Nope, has to have the dog with her and at all times. And, like, the dog's old. The dog's not going to live forever, and Kirian knows that, and I think that's why that she wants to spend as much time with the dog as possible. But it's like, it's a weekend. I think that the dog would be, I don't know for sure, but I think the dog would be happier, better, staying at home in a place that the dog knows, and with someone that the dog knows coming by every so often, just, you know, give food and water, give medicine, walk the dog, as opposed to, you know, multi-hour. Gosh, what was I planning on? I was planning on going to my equipment and doing like melee apple strats, right? Do I have any Object X sitting around? I do. No. Okay, so if I do Object X and then Melee Apple, and then... Oh no, I'd want Tenfold Steel as well. I guess I could get... but no. I'm just going to spend some time and try to harvest. I think it was the second floor? I don't know. But anyway, supposed to be in the back of a van, multi-hour drive, in the heat, because it's potentially still warm. It's either hot in there or it's loud in there. And then being in a strange place, because booking an Airbnb, or it's like, yeah, and then being left alone for, you know, quote-unquote half the weekend.
Here we go.
Because...
There. Oh, right. I'm not done yet.
Because despite how much she wants to, I mean, Kieran is... Yeah. And then, like, either... Because, like, Kieran is, might take a break in the middle of the convention to go back to the house and, like, check up on Papa. But then she's, like, taking time out of her own trip, and it's like... So it's like, there's no way out of this that doesn't at least inconvenience someone. And it seems like that she would rather all the inconvenience goes to me. That's her mode of choice. The two options that she proposed that she'd be happy with are either I pay for half of an Airbnb that I literally can't afford, or we go stay at her friend's place who lives like 2 hours away, potentially more than 2 hours away from the convention. So,
Nice.
convention... okay, Friday it starts in the afternoons. That's not so terrible. But then Saturday and I think Sunday it starts at like 10 a.m. So if we want to get there for 10 a.m., and I kind of do want to get there Saturday 10 a.m. because there is a morning event that I would like to go to. Schedule's been released. I saw it and I'd like to go to this event. If we're going to get there... Actually, you know what? Let's reload.
What's on the task
Oh,
board today?
I reloaded the autosave. Whatevs. So if we want to go there for the event in question... Okay, so get there at 10 a.m. So leave at, well, 8? No. Leave more like 7:30 to give us bit of extra time to go through stuff. Okay. Which means I have to start my up... I have to wake up at about 5:30, or more like 5 a.m. to do all of my upkeep stuff that I have to do twice a day. Kieran is well aware of this. Very much aware of this. So I'd have to wake up at 5 a.m., do my upkeep stuff in some stranger's bed, alone, because neither Kieran nor her friend want to be there in the room with me while I'm doing it. So basically, just lie there in a bed alone for 2 hours, and then get it in a car where I've all things knowing, I'll probably be stuck in the back seat and not be part of any conversations, because when two people in the front seat and they're talking, people in person in the back seat cannot hear the conversations, because like I said, it's either really hot in there or it's really loud in there. So it's probably going to be driving along, windows down, super loud, again, basically by myself again, just to get to the convention, where I know that Kirian and I have different tastes in, like, practically everything. And so she's just going to be all like, okay, Claire, go have fun. And I'll just effectively be there going on my own. Even with other people there, I'll be going on my own, except I woke up at 5 a.m. for that. Or I pay for it part for an Airbnb that I actually cannot afford to do. That's it. Those are my options that Kiriana has given me. Both of them are a huge inconvenience to me, and even though she had made it a clear, stressed point that she does not want to inconvenience anyone, the two options that she gave are a massive inconvenience to me. But it doesn't matter, right? Are we friends? I don't know. Doesn't matter because we're friends, but are we even friends? Because at this point, I don't know if we are. I'd like to know. And so, I want to propose an alternative. Stay with the Zura. Zura said it's fine for us and the dog. The friend would still be inconvenienced though, but there's no free way that, for as far as I can see, for the friend to be staying, in the city when all is going on. Hey, Cinnamon. Actually, what if I make twin blades instead? So, yeah, and then when I get up to do my thing, I'll have Azura there to, lie there and chat with for the couple of hours while I do my upkeep every day. Oh gosh, that's what it's like. On a Saturday, events end at 7, I think. So we'd get back about 9:30. And once we get back, I have to start doing my upkeeps again until about 11:30, maybe midnight-ish. Fall asleep. No post socializing time whatsoever. At least when it comes to time available to show off the things that I got with the other people. So basically, again, I'll be going to the whole convention on my own, and I hate going to conventions on my own because it's so dull and boring. And so that. So it's like, yep, going. So it's like, okay, cool. So I can basically just go there by myself. That's the option I'm given. Either go there by myself or pay a bunch of money. So I gave her an ultimatum that, like, Gian desperately does not want to be social with anyone she doesn't know in the slightest. That's the thing. Azura came by the Airbnb last weekend. Well, only Kirian and I were there. I said, oh. It's like, oh, Azura is here. Come on up, Kirian. I want you to meet her. It's like, whatever. It's like, oh, Azura's here. Come on, let's go say hi. Not, I'm gonna go say hi. Like, let's go say hi. The two of us. Both of us. And then Karen was all like, yeah. And when I went back down to get her 5 minutes later, yeah, she had fallen asleep. And it's like... So again, I think... Oh, I can't use the touch screen to make this faster. There we go. It is Cloudheim's second floor, so there. And like Kirian had said, that if it was just like the two of us and not having the dog involved, that she would have, quote unquote, no problem with staying with Azura. But because of the dog, she's saying no. That's what she had told me. That if it weren't for the dog, that it would be an absolute and easy yes. And so I was like, okay, well, what is it about the dog that makes it better to stay alone in some stranger's house than as opposed to semi-alone in some stranger's house? And it's like, why would it be better for the dog to spend, you know, an extra 4 hours a day alone? But yeah, I told Kirian that's like, if she insists on paying for an Airbnb, she can do it. Whatever. I am not going to be duped into helping pay the costs one little bit, like, at all whatsoever, period. I'm not helping her pay for it. Like, at all. Well, so it's like, yeah, sure, fine. She can get her Airbnb, but then every morning she has to come by, pick me up, bring me to the event. I'm not letting her, you know, sneak her way out of that or anything. And then, after all said and done, if things don't improve between us, I'm probably just going to cut off all contact with her. Maybe not necessarily block her on everything, but at least set her to ignore on everything. Probably just like for a month or something if I can set a time for it, or else just flat out just... Or no, don't set her to ignore, but see what she wants me for in the future. And if she tries to go, oh, hey, I'm going down to Edmonton, you want to come with me? I can... It's like... Because that was a thing that had happened. She had an appointment in Edmonton, I had a free day, and so we made a trip of it. But it's like, when we're driving along, like, on the way down there, last weekend, we had, you know, spent most of the ride trying to talk and stuff. Trying to. And then, like, halfway through, she started complaining. It's like, oh, so tired. It'd be better if I could just listen to my audiobook. Like, aka passive-aggressively saying, if it weren't for you, I would be in a better state right now. I just wish that you weren't here. And she'd be... And if I told her that, she'd be saying, oh, I didn't say such a thing. It's nice having you there with me. But it's like, no, she absolutely said that she can do, like, 20-hour-long drives as long as she has an audiobook and she'll be fine. But 2 hours with just me as companionship was too much. Hey, some tenfold steel. I'm gonna go and keep trying for it because I might as well, right? So yeah, having me as... So, like, she has already complained about having me as, like, you know, a driving partner. Of course, she never tries to start up a conversation herself because, oh, she's too shy, too introverted for that. Whatever. It's like, yeah, you know what, Kian, you can deal with having a lifetime of being socially rejected by everybody because if you're too shy to strike up a conversation with someone, they're not going to be bothered to strike up a conversation with you or do anything with you or plan anything with you. So, it's like... It's like, whatever, right? Like, all this stuff is... Ugh. And, okay, wait. I guess I have to consider, do I really want to go down to the end... to the Edmonton, like to the comic expo? Do I want to go down to their little comic thing? The schedule released, and there's like maybe one or two events that I could find myself being interested in going to. But for the most part, yeah, for the most part, it's like, nah. I need to go look through the rest of the schedule. I need to look through like half of it, but really, it really looks like it's just going to be a whole lot of stuff that I am not interested in taking part in. And it's like, it's like, if I do go down, I'd have to, like, refund, pay back her gas funds, whatever, because Kirian never once suggested anything to the tune of, oh, shoot, if money's so bad for you, don't worry about paying for gas. I got it covered since I'm going down anyway, and the gas prices are going to be the same. Or, like, she had been the first one to suggest, okay, fine, you stay with someone else. I'll book an Airbnb by myself and pay for the costs. As opposed to something like, oh, hey, I'll book the Airbnb, I'll cover it so you don't have to pay. Because, like, I've told her flat out, my issue with the Airbnb strategy is money. I don't have the money to book another Airbnb. And she said, oh, well, I'll just book one for myself then. As opposed to, okay, I'll book it and you don't have to worry about paying me back. She said, oh, no, I'll just book it for myself. By the way, I'm broke. Too broke to, do anything that you want to do. But I'll book myself an Airbnb. I'm like, hey, I know a way I can save you like $500. Oh, well, I don't want to inconvenience anyone. So you know what? I'm giving her this ultimatum. And if things, yeah. I'm not saying, like, if things go worse, I'll go no contact with her. I'm saying if things don't go better. If things stay the way that they are. Because, like so many people, she loves complaining about things. But just for the sake of complaining about them, she doesn't actually want solutions. She just wants someone to go, oh, gee willikers, being broke sure sucks. I agree. Oh, you want to spend $1,000 for a place to stay for the weekend when a free option is available? Okay, friend. Like, I can't help but wonder what she'll be like after her dog does pass away in another couple of years. Like, is she just going to be like, oh, no friends over, like, she's just going to be like holed up at home, like, all day long, just, work at home and work at home, no social life anymore whatsoever? Is she going to, like, commit suicide because that dog was, like, her last tether to having any sort of, want or desire of having a contact? Like, it's not going to go well. You put so much into one little thing. If you put, like, so much importance on one thing, especially, then once that thing, like, stops, you're in a terrible place. And it's not like, oh, I put my whole being into, like, this book series, whatever, because, hey, book, or, like, this TV show, I'm gonna make this my whole identity, or, like, this whole genre of a thing in general. It's like, my entire, my entire personhood depends on the detective noir genre. As long as it's more detective noir genre to consume, I'm still going to be good. I need myself some detective noir. Like, I have autism, and, like, people with autism tend to, get their special interests of things. As far as I'm aware, Kirian is perfectly neurotypical, and she's putting her entire, like, sense of self, more or less, into her dogs. One of which passed away, and she just kind of pushed full force into the other one. constantly complaining about being broke, but, oh, well, have to bring my dog along on this trip and pay a couple $100 extra. Nope, can't put dog in kennel, can't have someone else look after dog for a couple of days. Gotta bring doggy along. Gotta have the doggy. With Cinnamon. Like, I have a pet too, I have Cinnamon. I went out last weekend. Didn't even consider to bring Cinnamon along. Left him at home. Gave him food and water. Didn't even have anyone coming by at all to check up on him this time. Chandra said that she was too busy with work, wouldn't be able to make it. I'm like, okay, don't worry about it. Left the cat home alone for the weekend with food and water, and then made sure to have some snuggle time when I got back. For the record, like half an hour of snuggle time. Maybe. Probably less. Like, not even a whole lot of snuggle time together. And yeah, that was just it. That's... And like, yeah, I know with the dog, like, dog doesn't just use litter box, dog makes person, but like I said, could have someone take care of dog for a weekend. But nope, gotta bring dog down. It's like, okay, well, you could put your doggy in a kennel, they'll look after the doggy. Nope, can't leave doggy in kennel. Too much stress on me. Also on dog, which I have no way of knowing how stressed out the dog is. But she did say that it was also too stressful for herself to do it. And it's like, someone has to be inconvenienced. You can inconvenience your dog by leaving her in a kennel and then, like, you know, stay somewhere, whatever. You can inconvenience yourself by putting yourself into an uncomfortable situation. Whatever, like, you could inconvenience both yourself and myself by making us stay with your friend who lives 2 hours away from town. And, or you could just flat out you could inconvenience me by insisting that I help pay you for an Airbnb that you decide to get just so you can keep the dog. And yet those are the options she chose. I choose inconvenience you. It's like, if you really don't want to inconvenience anyone, then, like, if you're too scared about inconveniencing other people, then go with the thing that inconveniences you. Because, like, technically it does inconvenience the other friend a bit, but, I mean, as the way it looks like Kieran's just getting an Airbnb for herself, not for her and her friend to split. So yeah, I'll go. The more that I think about this, the more that I talk about this, the more that I think I just don't want any part of this. It doesn't look like there'll be anything grand at the event that I want to do.
Oh, right.
It doesn't look like there'll be anything grand at the event that I want to do. So why should I? Right? Why should I? Why would I want to go? What in the... At apparently 8:45 p.m., all the monsters respawn. Anyway, going back to the home base, I got 3 10-fold steals. I'll be back in another couple of days to talk about something else, and who knows? Well, to be fair, I'm going to be recording the next episode tomorrow, not in 2 days, so maybe I'll know more about it by then, but give Jan the ultimatum of, if you insist on getting an Airbnb, then I insist that you have to be the one to, like, pick me up, drive me around and stuff. And if you can't abide by that, then I don't want to go, and also pay me back for my ticket. Like, that's what it's gonna be. Because at this point, at this rate, I really just don't want to spend a weekend with her. So I think actually this strategy might be the best. Just have to deal with her for the drive down, and then a little bit of driving each day, and then we can get to the Comic-Con and go, cool, let's not see each other until we're leaving. Also, she says, like, oh yeah, I don't want her to go down just for the thing. I also want to, like, go to here, buy this stuff, go here, buy this stuff, go there, buy this stuff. It's like, cool. I'll stay at the convention center. You come pick me up when I'm done, drive me back to Azura's, and then the next morning, you come pick me up at Azura's, drive me back to the convention center, to the convention, whenever. And, like, that's all we have to interact with each other for this weekend. That's it. And then, if she complains about that too, then I'll say, cool, I'm not going, pay me back. That's what it's gonna be. Because at this point, she has me stressed out about all of this. Because she can't make a plan more than a few days in advance. And it's incredibly bloody stressful. She is being a super huge inconvenience on me. But she doesn't care. Are we even friends? Because at this point, I think the answer is no.